If you're under 13, piss off.
Hello RC World, welcome back. I am Dave, your host. Going to get right into it. We're back with the farm truck. Time for a few details need to be finished up. One of them being the alignment of the front wheels. If you look at this wheel, pretty straight, parallel with the frame. If you look at this wheel, looks like it's turned to the right. So we're going to take the steering link off here, and in between the rod end here, and the link, we're going to use a file, shave just a little bit off, probably try to shave it off on both sides so that I don't take too much off of one side. We'll shave it a little bit, put it back on, do it a few times, keep checking it until everything lines up. We got it all out of the truck, got the ends off, so now we're just going to wrap the link with a little bit of something, tape or something like that, just so it doesn't get all scratched up in the vise, and clamp it in the vise and shave some off the ends. Alright, so as I got into that, I realized pretty quickly that shaving off the metal on the links was going to be way more work than just chopping some off the plastic end. Plus, if I chop too much off the plastic end, it's not a big deal. I could just put a couple of washers and space it back up. So, if I can get my hold on this thing again, get everything nice and square. So you can see on this end we're perpendicular, and then on this end we're perpendicular. So no more wicked toe in. I'm sure if you took a micrometer to it or some nonsense, you could probably find a little bit of a difference, but as long as it's straight enough not to be offensive to the eye at this scale, I think it's just fine. So let's take a look at the next thing we're going to do. The next thing we have to do is address the attachment point of the leaf springs at the front here. So I got it mocked up, obviously, so that it works and it locates the axle properly, but there are a few issues. As you can see from this side, we don't have good alignment with the shackle. The bottom part of the bracket interferes with this hole right here, so we can't get the body on properly and get the body pin installed. So I have figured out how to fix that. So let me flip it to the other side and show you what we did. We shortened the shackle. Where this bolt goes through is where I drilled the hole to attach. Like on this side, I did it both the same on each side, obviously. But so what I did is enlarge this hole to 5/32 so that the shouldered bolt that comes with the shackles would fit through. And then we took a nut, here I got another one, a M4 nut just like this, ran the 5/32 drill bit through the center of it, so it's now a spacer right here between the body mount and the shackle. I also ran that 5/32 down the inside of this piece of plastic so that the shoulder bolt would go in farther and be a good anchor. And then over here we have 4 stainless M4 washers to space the outside, and then in the upper part right here we have 2 stainless washers to space this. What ends up happening is you get a relatively straight setup that compresses, moves freely, does what it's supposed to do, and even with just the single shackle over here, it's more than strong enough. This thing's not going to be doing a lot of extreme crawling. It's not a super heavy truck. It's basically made for driving around on the streets and maybe going for a walk on the trails. You know, it's a trail truck. It's a scaler. It's got little wheels and all that kind of stuff. So that worked really well on this side. Plus I cut off the bottom and filed it round so that there's room for the body mount to come through. So that locates the body properly on the chassis, and it'll make it a lot easier for me to get the hinge re-engineered in the back. So let me go ahead and pull the parts off of that side, and I'll show you how I modified them. Alright, so as you can see, we got this disassembled, got the bracket off here. So this right here is the M3 hole that we drilled in the bracket to make sure that the distance between this hole and this hole, or the overall length of the shackle bracket, was correct. So all we have to do now is punch it out with the 5/32 bit so it's the same size as these two holes. Then we'll cut this end off and file it round so that it matches. And that's really it. That gets it out of the way of the body pin, so there's no problem there. And enlarging this hole makes it so that this shouldered shackle bolt will go through it correctly. Then we just have to take that 5/32 bit and run it down this hole in the plastic so that that shouldered bolt can go all the way in and be a solid anchor. Then we use our Dremel to get the burrs off the other side here. Quick test fit. Oh, got a little burr in there. Alright, there we go. Winner. Now we gotta chop this end off. You can cut this with whatever you want, power tools, hacksaw. I think for little stuff like this, it's nice and quick and easy to just nip it with a pair of shears. There we go. Alright, now we take a file to the end, get it shaped. And lastly, a little bit of sandpaper, just to take the rough off. And we'll go ahead and paint these later after mock-up is done. I'll make sure everything fits first, and then we can make it pretty. But that's functional. Alright, so first thing we do is put 4 stainless washers onto the shouldered bolt. Then we put it through the shackle. Then we put on our bored out spacer nut. Then we thread it into the truck. There we go, in there nice and tight, not a lot of lateral movement, and it's not cranked all the way down, so it'll move nice and freely. So then, we take our second shouldered bolt, our nylock nut, and our last 2 washers, and get that put together. Through the bracket first, then the washers, now the tricky part is getting this into the leaf spring. You gotta kind of pull and pry on it, be a little rough. And I might get in the way of the shot, so nothing I can do about it. Boom. Yeehaw. Alright, here we go. So now you can see we got nice easy movement on both sides. There's not it might be kind of hard to see, but I can't really jack the thing around from side to side, so it should be plenty secure to drive the truck. So now I can go ahead and kind of finalize the front end here. We'll get the steering attached. I'll pull these bolts back out and Loctite them, get rid of my masking tape, and I already tightened down these rear shackle bolts. So that, and I gotta stick the drive shaft back in it. So we'll go ahead and do those little items and see what the next step's going to be, if any. Alright, there's the drive shaft back in. I had to cut about 2 millimeters off of this upper, or lower I guess technically, half of the drive shaft so that I could get it around the end of the snout. Shouldn't affect it at all, should be fine. Alright, let's get a bolt and get that reconnected. Alright, there's the body back on, looking good. Everything lines up the way it's supposed to. Sits on there pretty good. The pins come back up like they're supposed to. So yeah, that's going to do it. The suspension fabrication is done. The leaf springs are in. The new Yota axles are in. Everything is bolted down. Drive shaft, steering. I could throw a battery in this thing and drive it right now. So next time we'll probably start working on re-engineering the bed. The bed is going to be a big project. We got to get some stuff. We're going to remove all this cage work. Going to make it full depth again, front to back, side to side. The back of the cab here is going to get an expanded metal headache rack. And then once the bed is all done, I'm going to have to re-engineer this hinge at the back because I want this body to stay hinged the way it was originally. So yeah, that'll be the next thing we do. And then once that's done, we'll go ahead and remove all the decals. We're going to cut out the tint from the windows and peel that off so that they're not tinted anymore all the way around. Because you know, an old farm truck with probably an old man driving it is most likely not going to have tinted windows. We will eventually do an interior. I know there are 3D printed interiors for these available, but don't want to get too far ahead. So next, bed. That simple. So if you like that content, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Check out the video linked at the end of this video for more content. Share the video with a friend. Comment down below. I try to answer all the comments. And we'll see you next time on Adult RC, where grown-up time is playtime.